Hello, I'm Alma Schneider. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and the proud mother of 4 children, one of whom has Prader-Willi syndrome.
And I am Iris Miller. I'm a certified rehabilitation counselor and the proud mother of 2 children, one of whom has quadriplegic cerebral palsy and is nonverbal.
In this podcast, we discuss the uncensored truth about raising children with disabilities.
Prepare to laugh, cry, and hopefully learn something new.
This is 2 Moms, No Fluff.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 2 Moms, No Fluff, the podcast in which we discuss the uncensored truth about raising kids with disabilities. Our podcast is sponsored by our nonprofit 1 in 6 Support. That is a gift to our community, and we're so happy for all of our donors that help us continue to make this podcast and all of our other programmings for families of children with disabilities, communities, and organizations. And I have my beautiful, lovely partner in crime here, Alma Schneider. And Alma, it's so nice to see you. I'm Iris Miller, by the way. Alma, today we're going to have an episode that is focused mostly about your experience, sharing some important information with all of us. Can you maybe introduce the topic of the conversation today?
Yes, I would be happy to. Thank you for the lovely introduction. I thought that today I would talk about how to keep our children or our adult children connected to their family and their community while they're in residential care. And in my situation, residential school, which is a situation that many of us find ourselves in. So I think the format that we have decided on is that you are going to ask me questions, Iris, and I'm going to answer them.
Yes, and I'm very excited to be the one asking questions. And maybe I'll start with asking you first on something that I already know how you do, but it's really important. How do you really stay in touch as a family with your child who's in a residential school far away? And, I think your family is doing something beautiful and worth mentioning and sharing with everybody else. So I'll let you answer.
Okay, well, the main thing that we do while our son is in his program, so he's in another state because the needs that he has for Prader-Willi syndrome, there was really no local facility that or school that was able to deal with the behaviors and the health issues related to Prader-Willi syndrome. So he is in Massachusetts and we're in New Jersey. So we're pretty far. It's about a 5 to 6 hour drive, very far. And one of the best ways that we stay in touch with our son is by having a family Zoom once a week. And what's so great about this is that not only is it a way for us to stay in touch with Lincoln, our son who's in that program, but we have 3 other children who are scattered around, and we all convene for this family Zoom. So it's really been a blessing to be able to have this weekly check-in with everybody. So we do that every Sunday. It's focused on Lincoln, but the other kids get to talk about what they're doing too, to keep him abreast of what's going on in their lives and for him to tell us how his week has been. So we do it every Sunday. We came up with the time that we thought would be most amenable to everyone in the family. So we do Sundays at 7 p.m., but that could be something that you figure out on your own with your own circumstances with your family. But we do it for 1 hour. And if there really isn't that much to talk about, we play Family Feud on the computer. And one of us brings up the game on there. That's a game that everybody loves, especially our son. And we play Family Feud, which is something that we did at home as well.
That's the second, Alma, just a second. For the foreigners and those of us who do not know what Family Feud is.
Oh, Family Feud was a TV show and it's still on, but with a different host. But it's been on probably for 50 years or 40 something years. And it's just a game that is on TV, but now it's a game that's online as well. So we can share it. It's an app or a website and you just go to it. It's free. And we play that game. It just asks questions. We surveyed 100 people. What are the top answers to these questions? What is the most common name for a dog? Something like that. And then we have teams. The family is broken up into two teams, and we play that game. So, but you can play any game that's online as part of your Zoom. If that's something that your child is able to do. If they, some people in residential care are non-speakers. But for us, that is what we do. And you would just figure out different ways to connect with your kids via Zoom. If that's something that works for you. There's also, people can visit. You can also have a phone call if you want to, or you can just make a point of texting if that's something that's doable as well. Just some way to be together and communicate with one another.
Yes, I think that the regular phone calls and text messaging is something that other people naturally do. But your family created like basically a family therapy session that you run on your own, and everybody has a moment not just to connect and share, but also to stay in touch when the other older kids are no longer living in the house. And it's so beautiful. And I think that many times we say that our children with disabilities are unifiers. And I think another example of that the other children feel committed to this family ritual because of the importance that it has for the child with a disability.
100%. Everyone benefits.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful routine, and I think that you don't need to have a child with a disability to kind of do it.
Absolutely not.
It's just beautiful.
And this is one of the, silver linings, if you will, that came from COVID, because we didn't do Zooms before that, but now we have a way to really get together.
Yeah. So I want to ask you another question, because I also know how much preparation and thought goes into that. How do you prepare and plan for vacations? Because I know there are many times during the year that the residential placement is not an option. There's vacations and other holidays, etc. How do your family prepare to having the child with a disability back at home?
Well, one of the main things that we do that reduces stress is whatever it is that your family had in place before your child went into residential, we bring that into the home again when they're coming home. So for example, with Prader-Willi syndrome, we do have to lock the kitchen doors, but when our son is not here, we have the doors open. So we don't do all of these things at the last second before he comes home. And our son comes home every couple of months for about 10 days. So he comes home pretty frequently. But instead of preparing, an hour before he gets home, I start preparing a week before. For our particular situation, I make sure that the doors are locked. I make sure we have a code, an electric code on the doors, and we make sure that the battery is in there so that the electric code works and that the doors stay locked. We have a digital code, so we have to make sure that the batteries work. We make sure that our Ring doorbell is charged, because if you have a child who may leave the house, it's important to make sure that the alarms are all working properly and that there's a signal if someone tries to leave, a bell or electronic bell. So we have to make sure that the Ring doorbell is charged. We also, because food is an issue and sometimes there is somebody leaving the door open to the kitchen by accident, we try to make sure that all the really good food that he may be interested in, we put that in another place that is not at all accessible, so that if by chance he gets into the kitchen, we don't have his favorite items at the right in front of him. We try to hide those for his safety. So those are some of the things, but the main point is to make sure that you're not doing it the second before they get home. You really want to plan ahead so that it's comfortable. And if you forgot something, then you can do that at the last minute, but you don't want to have everything done. One other thing, just socially, that we try to plan for to have him connected, to continue being connected to the community and the people that he knows here and his friends. We try to reach out to his friends a week or two before he gets home to set up dates to make sure that people are available to hang out with him when he's home so that he has some social activities. In addition to hanging out with his friends and making sure that they have dates available, we try to make plans. We'll go into the city, we'll get tickets for a show, or we'll just get a sense from him what he wants to do in these weekly Zoom calls. What do you want to do when you come home? And again, if your child is a non-speaker or they can't tell you that, you probably know what they enjoy doing. So you just plan for those things while they're home.
That's great, and it leads me in a way to my next question, because sometimes you have family events like birthdays or other celebrations and transition ceremonies, and, holidays, etc., that happen while your child is away. How do you bridge the gap, and how do you handle situations like that?
Well, excellent question. He gets two. So he's been in this program for 2 years and he's going to be done in June. And what we have done, his birthday has fallen during his time there. So he gets two birthdays. So they celebrate his birthday there, and then we celebrate his birthday here. So, people might not like that they're in their program during these special times, but it eases the pain of it if you make it extra special when they come home so that they get, two or three. So we'll have a birthday party with extended members of the family, a birthday party with the immediate family, and also with friends. So it's like a lot more fun and a lot more activities when they come home.
Amazing. Talking about looking at the glass half full twice. Amazing. I love
That's
it.
right.
Yes. So I want to ask you, Alma, about the transition, when transitioning when Lincoln comes home for vacation. How do you handle kind of settling into yet another new routine? And B,
Mhm.
how do you deal with parting ways when those times at home come to an end and he needs to return to his school? How do you handle that?
Great question. For us, it's been pretty easy because he really likes his program. But I know that for other people, they don't want to go back necessarily, or they have a hard time transitioning back. We've been pretty fortunate with that. But that being said, we still have exciting things for him at his program when he goes back that he likes. So, for example, they change the menu seasonally. So that's something that he gets excited about, that he's going to, he likes food. He does have Prader-Willi syndrome. So it's a way to entice him to go, or just have him be excited about going back because they change the menu. Another thing is they have different activities where he is, and for example, taking care of horses. So he has horse care when he returns, and that's something that he really looks forward to that he doesn't do at home. So we talk that up, and he does that. We also have a carpool and with other people, and he gets to go to a restaurant to get a sandwich that he normally wouldn't get because it's a little bit of a treat to go to a place like Jersey Mike's or Subway, and he gets to pick what he wants when he goes there. So a lot of these things that I'm discussing are food related because that happens to be my son's syndrome. Being very interested in food with Prader-Willi syndrome. So those are some of the things that make it a little bit easier. We also send him back with some fun things that he can share with his suite mates. For example, new games that he can play, or he happens to be very into the Red Sox now, and the other students there are into baseball. So we will, I'll pick up something that is some kind of paraphernalia, like a banner that says Red Sox on it, or a new blanket that says Red Sox on it, something that he's excited to share with people when he's leaving here and going back there.
That's super nice. I love all of those ideas. And I just want to say or mention in this short episode that we obviously skipped the whole part about finding a residential school or out of home placement that I know it's a big challenge for many families just to go about finding that. But if you do find a program, still, obviously, there's lots of questions, fears, and things that need to be handled when your child is no longer at home. So, Alma, I first want to thank you for sharing all that you shared today. But also, is there anything else that you think that parents that are in that position and their children are no longer going to live at home that they need to know?
Well, planning vacations and holidays, time away. Sometimes our kids it's not in their best interest to go to certain places that you might like to go to. For example, a very free and open kitchen for us is not something that is safe for our son. So going to an Airbnb is often difficult. So if we want to go on a trip that would require an Airbnb stay, we would not do that with him. And we would do that separately and then plan a different kind of vacation when he comes home. So these are all things that that aren't intuitive necessarily, only when you're in the situation do you realize, oh, well, it's summer vacation. We usually do this, and that's going to be a problem now, while the child has been away. It's been easier, but you don't have to go back to those same stressful routines. You can change. It gives you an opportunity to kind of think outside of the box and have different kinds of plans when they come home. So it just takes a little bit of thinking ahead of time. But I just want to go back to something that you said about, getting into residential programs and issues around starting a residential program. And that is going to be its own episode for us because there's a lot that goes into that. And I will leave you with a little teaser, which is you might need to go to a political official if you do not get your needs met from your school district. So I'll leave you with that. And we're going to talk more about that in a separate episode about getting into a residential facility, if that is something that is necessary or beneficial for your family member.
Stay tuned. Yes.
Stay tuned. ...
Alma, thank you so very much. If anyone has questions to Alma or wants to share their experience as well, please write to us at info@oneinsixsupport.org. And also, please join our online forum where you can discuss those issues with other parents on our website, the community forum. You can just register very fast by entering your information, and it's a great place to share and learn. Thank you for listening.
And it's free, like all of our services.
Amazing, that's true. So, Alma, thank you very much, and we'll see you.
All right. Have a great day.
For more information, please go to www.twomomsnofluff.com. Thank you.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe and give it a 5-star rating so more people can hear it. Thank you.